Hey, everyone, and welcome back to the start of the round of 16 for today's Smite World Championship, week number 3, the European region. Definitely a great start so far. Superbia had a great showing, but we're going right into SK versus Coast.
Yeah, this for such an early round drive is pretty big because both these teams are competing to try and get to this LAN event at the start of the season. So to see them face off so early on, one of them is going to lose points this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard, right? Because, the separation of seeding is so high between first and second and third. But when you look at fifth through eighth, it's all the same.
Game.
And so,
game.
if you get, a 5th through 8th place 1 week and then you don't for 2 weeks, all of a sudden you're just sitting on 10 for the longest time. You can't catch up. And it's really hard to deal with that separation. It's not like, you get a second place finish, you get 60 points, and all of a sudden you're skyrocketing ahead. If you're not feeling like you're going to get that second or first or even third place, you're battling for scraps.
Well, and to rub this in even further, whoever wins this faces the winners of Team Solo Mid versus Team Rippers.
It's a tough battle.
No offense to Team Rippers, but I expect Team Solo Mid to get through, which means you have to face either Coast or SK Gaming and then face Team Solo Mid in the quarterfinals. Please give me a break. I'm sure both those teams are not happy with how the bracket fell for them this week.
Honestly, when you're looking at the path of the semifinals, though, I mean, you're going to have to find one of those teams along the way. And I think for these newer teams or teams that have been practicing for a while, I think it's feeling good enough because you're able to make it to round 16. You're able to make it to round of 8. When you get to the quarterfinals, you're feeling like I actually have got seed points this week. I'm feeling very strong about that. Now, these two teams we're watching coming up next, SK versus Team Coast Blue, they're not unfamiliar. Now, the players have been swapped a little bit. We kind of see some people moving around. Proxy is no longer there. In fact, Proxy has left Exposed Secrets as well. He just wants to be on every known team that is available. But, SK has been performing a little bit better than Coast. Coast actually hasn't come out to play too much in the last 2 weeks. And so this is week 3. This is their point to kind of step in and really show everyone, yeah, we're definitely a strong team. We have a lot of practice here. And so, with their newest pickups, of course, you got, Emilito still standing strong, Optics coming in and Spoo playing very well. But Bugsy and Qin going into SK really makes a big difference. But across the way, there's definitely a lot of possibility here. Realzy always performs well. Captain Twig always performs well. Badge has been around for a very long time. We have a lot of big players in this matchup here.
Yep, and the Maniac as well in the solo lane, I love that guy's name. He's a maniac. He just rolls up the tongue. He's like, maniac, going crazy, just like his name. So it's really easy. But we're into the picks and bans now that you should be able to see on your screen. And already a Hubwa ban as first ban this week in this SK Team Coast game.
It's a bit of a shot. We know that Coast likes to play Hubwa in between, and it's surprising too because Hubwa is actually very controllable in a lot of ways. I mean, he's probably one of the easier mids to gank if he plays mid. He can play jungle. He can play solo. Coast has been shown to play all 3 of those roles with Hubwa. Then it looks like they just want to shut down Spoo. They want to get rid of it. They just want to make sure they got nothing there. So Odin is going to be banned out across the way. You've got Hubwa and Ra gone this time around. Emilito's going to make the ban. Sun Wukong's available.
I think we'll see some Wukong ban, possibly. I mean, some teams are starting to realize they can handle him. And I spoke to i5. Well, Tyr's going to be the one that's banned out, which does leave Bastet open. Not just some Wukong, but Bastet was through. So will we actually see a picked up? No surprise there. There's Bastet being locked in instantly. Clearly, the people at hi-rez who chose the changes to Bastet didn't. I don't think they did enough personally. I think the player base is starting to feel the same as well.
Now, let's actually go ahead and talk a little bit about that and why that's so important. Bastet previously, the feeling with her is that she really had everything for free. She couldn't be punished in any way. Now, the way it worked previously is Pounce. You'd go in, you do AoE damage, and then for 4 seconds, now, you could be CC'd for 4 seconds, but you could also jump back during CC. Yeah. You were able to return back to original Pounce location. The change that went in is nerf the 2 a little bit. The animation's a little bit longer, and of course, the ticking a little bit less, a little bit damage there. Now, the thing about Pounce is you can no longer return during CC in the last 3 seconds, but in that first second, you have full CC immunity. Now, this, in effect, if you're looking at it across the Pounce duration, it's a nerf. But if you look at it as an implementation, it's a little bit of a side grade, and some would even argue that it's a bit of a buff, considering the fact that when she lands, she is now impervious to interruption to jump the cats and do the damage there. So Bastet's still a very strong character, and if not banned, definitely worth it to pick up here. We want to see what SK can do with it. Now we're going to see some interesting picks. Poseidon and Aphrodite actually hovered on here for SK.
Yeah, they are being Harvard. I mean, we saw Agni get picked up and Sun Wukong from Team Coast first of all. Now, with the picks and bans so far from Team Coast, that tells me they are okay with how Bastet is. They believe they can deal with Bastet, and they would rather favour Sun Wukong. And so that's why we saw the tier ban, so they could pick up Sun Wukong and have the support role being filled by probably the greatest support right now, in my opinion, in Sun Wukong, because of what he brings to the table in terms of damage, in terms of mobility, in terms of everything. Where is his weakness, technically. But then, picking up Agni tells me they're not scared of Poseidon either, because Poseidon's been played a lot just lately.
Yep, that's right. So no call, I mean, it's hashtag SWK. I mean, he is just really just one of the better characters, not the best character we have in the game right now. And he's just so hard to deal with in so many ways. Now they have Agni, they have Sun Wukong, so they're going to be locking Ur as well. So definitely a strong lineup early here for Coast across the way. SK has a terrifying pick progression here. Bastet, Poseidon, Aphrodite. Now, Poseidon is give or take. He's a character that can be replaced, but Aphrodite is so good right now in the current meta. Bastet is so powerful. Now, Aphrodite is kind of like a sleeper in the way that people don't understand what she really does. Now, she does have a very strong laning phase, especially in the solo lane. Her birds have such a long, not only do they have a good distance, but they also have a long duration animation where, they'll travel, she can back up, and then they'll hit the wave, and she's safe to do it. But her late game is what the biggest part about this. We see teams not pick up Divine Ruin, Brawler's Beat Stick, Weakening Curse in a lot of ways, and you have to pick those because her sustain and control in fights is unrivaled.
Definitely. And to talk about Aphrodite a little bit more as well, one of the things that is really big about Aphrodite is her ultimate. It's one of those skills that you can't really do anything about. A lot of other skills, you can beads, you can aegis, but against an Afro ult, there's no stopping it. It will always happen, and you can't do any damage for that time. So it's very key for Aphrodites to make sure they use it correctly in the right situation. And from the other side, you have to make sure you burn it before you try and commit fully to confirming the kill.
That's right. Chalk locked in here for Coast. Not really all that surprising. Still a very strong character, but he's fallen out of favor recently.
He has.
Honestly, the biggest thing about him is that you have the damage and control, you have the ultimate, but he doesn't have that turnaround fact that you expect. Something like a Thor would, where you just kind of turn the fight around. So now it's back over to SK to see what they want to pick up here. They don't have a hunter yet. They don't have a support yet. So they need those two. It looks like it's going to be Bacchus and Neith. Neith locked in. Bacchus locked in. Completely set up here. Now, I actually really like this lineup from SK. Bastet's going to be very aggressive early. Poseidon has a lot of setup combos. Aphrodite does as well. And then they have the Neith ultimate. So Bastet and Poseidon leaking together, and they have the Neith ultimate across the way. If you're mid, you got to be careful.
Well, let's look at it from SK's point of view. Neith is going to stay in the duo lane for the most part and use the World Weaver to affect the team fights wherever they may be, affect the skirmishes that go on the map. Meanwhile, Aphrodite is just going to continue to farm in the solo lane to get to that late game stage when she's ready to join the rest of the team. Meanwhile, Bacchus, Bastet, and Poseidon, the mobility between those three is fantastic. And they're going to look to rotate around, look for kills. Neith's going to be helping out with the World Weaver. So it's a great composition of balance of aggression early game and late game strength as well.
Yeah, definitely a strong combination for them. They now adding Thor to the mix here for Coast means they're going to have a high mobility. They're going to have a lot of control. You can see it on the graph there down below. Certainly a lot that Thor brings to the table. Now, as far as Coast goes, they don't really have a team that's flashy. Thor really the only person that's going to be that flashy component for them. But Chalk is very steady, throws out Thunderstrike's harassment, he blinks in, does the harassment himself. He wants to get to a point where his basic attacks are going to start hitting hard. That's where Chalk really takes off. Udo's going to have a lot of damage and harassment and good control, but he's going to, again, a very strong late game character. Sun Wukong, very mobile, but doesn't really bring a lot of oomph. He just brings steady, I'm awesome all the time kind of thing, and Ogden the same way. So Coast is probably not looking for anything early on. They're just going to be farming, they're going to be preparing their lane, winning their lane, getting the objectives they can across the way. SK has a lot of potential for kills, and Bastet, if used properly, can skyrocket early. With the assistance of Neith and Poseidon, they have a lot of potential there.
Yeah, I expect to see Team Coast just ward up early game and keep control and keep vision on where, if Poseidon just does choose to roam, where he roams to and where Bastet is at all times. Sure. Just to make sure that the early game goes okay for them. That's probably the big chance that SK has to take a big snowball effect in this game. Other than that, I think mid-game is going to be very close. I don't want to call either team ahead in this because I feel the picks and bans are very, very interesting how these have both fallen for both sides. Should be a close game.
Yeah, I mean, a close game is what we're expecting here. The seeding points are very close as far as, how they're performing and what they've been doing the last 2 weeks. This is week 3. And this is a chance for SK or Coast to really show what they're made of and make it into the later stages of the tournaments, what they've been hoping for so long. But like you said, they have a tough path ahead of them. We're going to find out what happens exactly in the game ahead. We're going to take a brief break, come right back with the preparation of SK Gaming versus Coast as the round of 16. You're joining us for the Smite World Championship week number 3, day number 2 with the European region. I'm Dry Bear. My co-caster here today is going to be Hindu Man. We'll see you very soon. Hey, everyone, and welcome back. The round of 16 lineup. SK Gaming and Coast are going head-to-head today. Let's go ahead and introduce our players and teams. The bottom side of the map, the green grass, the freshness of the bottom, the titan of order moving forward, trying to overtake what is rightfully theirs. It's going to be SK Gaming. You know them, you love them. Badge is going to be playing Bacchus this time around. In the jungle, you got Zeros on Bass. Stat Reels is going to be playing that Neath. Captain Twig on Poseidon in the mid lane. Of course, the solo is going to be played by Maniac on Aphrodite.
And Team Coast on the other side, as we can see SK looking to invade, but Team Coast, Spoo's going to be Agony in that mid lane. Queuing, the aggression as the belly flop comes out. Optics has got caught out of position here early. He's going to drop, and once again, Dry Bear, we see an early first blood over in EU. This happens a lot in the EU scene. Spoo, be careful. Spoo. Okay.
I don't know if he can hear you, Hindu.
I just wanted to help him, He clearly realized.
Was it emotional support? Is that what it is?
It was. I wanted to back it up.
He may have felt your support across the way. I don't know.
I hope so. I was trying to psychic, like Magneto, sorry, not Magneto, like Professor Xavier, trying to give them information.
You know what's so unfortunate about this, though, is the fact that, Poseidon before he could teleport. Thor, Optics, he saw it coming. He knew it was coming. Look at it on screen now. Instant pre-play now starting up here. Badger leading the way. You can see Optics is backpedaling. He saw it coming. He knew it was there. Now watch this fun. The knockup of the belly flop. The Whirlpool is going to hit immediately, and now he is crippled. Hammer or not, he's got no beautiful body blocking by Badger coming out there. So SK earned that outright, and Optics just did not give enough credit to SK Gaming. That Whirlpool cripple is all they needed, and he just didn't take it into account.
Did not. And now at the start of this game, Captain Twig was the one that secured that kill. Both the mid camps go across to SK as well. So already the golden experience lead starting to go in their favor at the start of this game. And just to go through the rest of the team, Emelito is in the solo lane on that Chuck as well. You can see him doing the blue buff on your screen right now with Optics, who was the first blood in the jungle on Thor. Qin and Bugsy are all, but they're looking for aggression here. Did they actually manage to take away the blue? No, they did not.
Now
the aggression is onto...
They stole
it. They did. Great play from them to bring themselves back into it from Coast then. But the trade's going backwards and forwards. Nice belch overall. The backflip comes out as well from Reels. So disengage for now, but definitely overall in the terms of it, damage-wise goes in favor of SK. However, Coast steal that blue.
Taking some damage in the mid lane here. Forced dash away. Poseidon's push is kind of taking its toll here in the mid lane. Really, Poseidon just needs to hit level 2 to be able to use that combo. Looking for the stun on the left side. Not finding Qin. Going to miss Badger there. The axe is going to come out shortly. Looking for it. Going to find it. 1-shot, 2-shot. Bladed arrow. A little more damage. There goes the hail as well. Bacchus getting very low on the left side. Bugsy not messing around here with that ult play. Definitely a very strong performance by them. Not only did they steal the blue buff away, but they also got the little bit of harassment on Bacchus to prevent them from initiating going forward. Spoo looking for the kills in the mid lane, going to clear out that wave, go back towards his tower. Poseidon pushing very heavy. All right side, Afro's in trouble.
Oh, she really is. She's getting a lot of aggression from both the jungler. Optics does a good job of helping out with Emelito blocking the path. So Maniac is going to go down, and that's going to be a whole experience wave missed there for Aphrodite.
I love the choice of Aphrodite, especially given the fact that they saw Bastet going on the left side of the map. They knew that she was not going to be there in time. Look for the kill on Aphrodite. Means they're going to slow down her. That's the biggest thing. Oh, look at this lineup. Captain Twig looking for the dash. Knows he's able to land that before the ultimate can come off here. He does have his ultimate available. The Kraken is going to come out soon, but you can see how expertly Captain Twig is controlling this lane. Left side, look for initiation. She's going to find it on Neath. Hail. One more shot will do it. He needs to hit. Good belly flop. Zeros is here, gets the kill, but at what cost? There comes the cat, no level 5 yet, not available. Whirlpool's on the ground, Bugsy's in trouble. Look at Qin getting out there. He knows it's curtains for Bugsy. Bugsy gets taken out there, but he gets out in time as well. Qin will survive, and Thor was in the area, but nothing he could do for himself.
What did we say at the start of this game, Drybat? They need to keep the ward up to make sure Poseidon can't rotate. We saw this yesterday. We've seen it already. Captain Twig using Poseidon with his greatest advantage of that mobility he gets from his passive.
Poseidon now in control of the mid lane, being the part of that kill, that assist. Getting the kill himself, actually. He's 2-0 right now. Definitely a big lead for Captain Twig. He's 3,200 total versus Audio's at 2,300. There was a 1,000 gold gap between the mid laners right now. Oh, they got to be feeling that.
they're going to feel it as it continues on, especially Poseidon in the early game. MLC Stealth showing what it's like already, but now we're going to get to see Captain Twig doing the same sort of thing for SK in this situation. So Coast have to play this passive now, and actually probably going to have to give up a little bit more experience. You can see they lost the left-hand mid-Harpies, but already 3 members grouping up for the right-hand side to make sure they at least get them.
Mid-camp's cleared out here. Either side going to get 1 mid-camp for their name. Definitely a big lead for them. Now look at the Gold. Gold's going to balance out completely right now. So as far as the graphs go, Gold has even experienced slightly in favor of Coast, given their control in the early stage. Left side some aggression coming out here on Bugs. He's not going to find it. Thor is in the Firejet camp looking to ult. Nope, he's going to head on home here. Nothing to grab after he has already gone home. Bastet doing the back jungle camps. But Bastet, the last time they saw her, was at level 5, so she has cats now and she has the opportunity for a gank.
He does, because he's some aggression from Spear in mid lane. That line a nice stun onto Captain Twig. He's low on mana as Captain Twig, but obviously with that trident, going to be able to wave clear effectively for the time being. Regen a little bit of that mana. I mean, talking about the gold as well, Drybet, we know at the moment that it is pretty much even on the graphs. However, the gold is being distributed differently when it comes to the lanes. Like we keep saying, Captain Twig is clearly ahead of Spoo in this middle lane and gold.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's the control they absolutely needed, and that's going to make a big difference, especially if Poseidon gets ahead like he has right now. He's finished off the Shoes of the Magi. Now, it doesn't seem like a whole lot of a big deal for, you know, people who don't play Smite all that much or really don't play mid lane all that much, but getting that 15 penetration with a little bit of magic power early on, especially for a character like Poseidon, is huge. That penetration will make him do near the full amount of damage to a lot of characters early on, as they don't really have a whole lot of magic protection, and that's going to make a big difference. If Spoo ever gets caught, he's guaranteed to go down.
Ho's looking for an opportunity at this mana camp. They know they're doing it at the moment, but the mana camp does go down before they can do anything. The ward did give vision of it. Bastet chose against going in. Maniac did rotate over for the most part, but she does get caught out there. Did get pinged nicely in the jungle, so already you can see Spoo backtracking to the tower for safety.
Spoo's going to get out there. He's going to being very careful. Notice this is how you come back from a deficit that early on. Let's check back in with Thor here. He's sitting at 3,400 gold across the way. He's actually going to be one of the highest farms. In fact, he's tied for 3rd place in farm completely with Bastet. Now, everyone, you know, always says, oh, first blood's really important, and it really is. The only separation is that he didn't use his physical pot. He didn't lose any jungle camps or buffs for it. He didn't lose anything, but he just gave away a little gold to whoever got the first blood, which was Captain Twig. And so that's the big difference there. Thor is being able to come back pretty strong here. He got his physical pot active. He didn't waste that away, and so he's making good use of his time early on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what Optics needs to do when he does fall behind like that, like he gives away first blood, is either choose to allow, help out the person he fed the kill to, which in this case will be Spoo, or rely on Spoo to deal with the issue presented in front of him and continue his path in the jungle and try and make an effect as time goes on. Great aggression in mid lane again as Captain Twig takes a nice bit of poke from Spoo once again.
Oh, he's going up. Thor up in the air, looking for the dunk here. Captain Twig gonna get the dunk, gonna hit it. Needs a stun from Audi, but he's a little bit knocked away. There goes the burst damage. Might get a kill here. Just need a whirlpool. One more shuttle to it. He gets the kill. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Optics ultimate the Cats. It's a 2-for-1 trade. Captain Twig proving why he is a captain of his own right. Beautiful reaction there, and that's the problem. And it was so unfortunate. It was so unfortunate. A title search knocked Agni up before he could follow up with the stun, and that's what sealed the deal.
Yeah, it was. I mean, as well, we did see Spoo run through the Kraken, but did take the damage from it as well. But we discussed the fact of the rotations and the World Weaver being used from SK Gaming there. You saw Badger and Bastet turn up almost immediately at that fight as the World Weaver came out to help secure those kills and make it a 2-for-1 trade. Great play from SK overall. I like the gank from Coast, though.
Oh, absolutely. And the follow-up was 100% there. That's what they needed to do. And honestly, it's a good start for them. They just had to really be careful. And I think it just comes down to the fact that Spoo was just not prepared to respond in the way that they wanted him to. And honestly, that title surge was the most unfortunate time I've ever seen in my life. They needed that stun immediately to prevent Poseidon from getting a really good burst off. And the second Thor lands, a title surge hits Agni right in the face.
Yeah.
And, Spoo really needed to be prepared a little bit better than he was for that initiation.
Waves OP. Waves are OP.
Water's water, man. Makes you wet.
What is it? Gets defeated by grass, is it that? Oh, Spoo getting aggressed on in middle lane again, but trading nicely again with Captain Twig. Does come out the negative end of it for the time being, so he's going to retreat back to tower for the time being. Have to play safe again as Captain Twig on the aggressive. Ward coverage from both sides, though, is pretty good at the moment. You can see most of the map with vision right now.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of vision coming out from Coast. Chalk has been warding that side of the map so heavily, and it's helping a lot, honestly. He knows where Bastet is. He knows who's there. That helps with Thor, of course, because if they put the wards there and they're looking to gank Aphrodite, they know if Bastet's really there or not, and then they can go in all the way on top of Aphrodite, and that's the biggest thing for them. Thor looking to do it again. Oh, here comes Thor, looking for the gank, going up in the air. Aphrodite, is she prepared for it? There's the dunk. Wally's come out. Good ult to prevent it, and now gets right out of the way. Perfect reaction. Now, honestly, you're wondering, was it really worth it? Chalk wasn't in position, but the biggest thing for Aphrodite is she wanted to move herself as fast as possible so that she didn't get blocked by the wall.
Rotations, though, from SK coming out. Captain Twig actually coming over. World Weaver coming in as well. The immunity from Chak coming out as well. He does get hit by the World Weaver. Cats come down, does the Kraken. Chak's in trouble. Chak drops. It's not possible, he says as he falls down, but clearly it is in this situation. Meanwhile, in the duo lane, we can see them trying to go aggressive onto Neef. Now the World Weaver is down. Great poke down, but the backflip secures it for the time being. Once again, these rotations and the mobility of SK shining through.
And Spoo really didn't capitalize on that. That's kind of the biggest thing for them right now, is that they needed Spoo to either rotate or push the tower. He did neither. And honestly, credit goes to Captain Twig as well by pushing the wave up before he left. But Spoo had, no real reaction to that one. Nothing really could have done. Either he rotates or he doesn't. He didn't want to go rotate on that one. He's going to actually path right through the whirlpool there and disengage from Bastet coming over. Did have a ward on the backside. Checking back in the left lane, like you were mentioning, Hindu. I mean, you see Bugsy and Q really putting the aggression down on top, and Reels is having such a hard time here.
Yeah, he's doing his best in this situation. I mean, we check his gold at the moment, 4,000 gold for him. Meanwhile, Bugsy's sat at 4,800. So you can see there's like a 600 gold difference between the two. Right. And it does make an effect when we get to these mid-stage, and that little bit of difference in gold can really affect the outcome of these team fights in terms of damage those hunters can put out.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a huge difference as it goes forward. The Ur really can scale really well late game. Honestly, Ur is one of the harder carries as things go on, and as natural attack speed, he has natural. Life steal, he has natural. Damage increase, in fact, the damage increase on his 2, his exposed weakness, is exactly the same as the branching bolas boost. 50 damage is huge for Uru, and you're really going to see what he can do late game as they kind of scale up. Neith, definitely a great character. Honestly, he's a little surprised to see Neith kind of falling behind here, knowing how good Reels is, and knowing how good Neith is at really boxing with other hunters, given the fact that she has a heal and a attack speed slot.
He has a good laning phase against Ul overall. Zatman even confirms that Neef is a great pick into Ul in most situations.
That's right.
So, she should be okay in this lane, but with the backers against a Sun Wukong,
Spoo!
Mid lane!
Neith! Oh, the Will Weaver is off! Beautiful play, and that's exactly what they need, and that's what the preparation is, and what it looks like. Realzy was ready for them. That's team communication, ladies and gentlemen. So Nokong rooted, Ud rooted as well, looking for the kill, can't find it. The Cats are out. Zeros wants it. The Cats might even solo it. Needs to get away from this. The Cats will last another 6 seconds or so. Qin running away, can't get the damage. The Cats versus the Monkey will be ending, and the Monkey survives.
Meanwhile, on the side of the screen as well, we saw Optics engage onto 4 members and went, hang on a second, I'm kind of alone here. This probably was a bad call. Immediately jumped out of the fight as quick as he could, get himself back to safety for the most part. But again, you can see the rotations coming out from SK, using their mobility and the extra effect of that World Weaver to help secure kills and force fights. Really nice from SK Gaming Coast. Are doing a good job, though, overall, in my opinion, of trying to contain SK during this.
Kraken in mid lane! So gets the blink. Wow, beautiful play. Again, right lane, Bird's coming out here, not going to land him into the animation time is a little bit long there, unfortunately enough. He's going to back off. Oh, Maniac looking like he wants it. Chalk going home. So many missed calls here for a Coast. Cap took some harassment in the mid lane, but here comes Bacchus.
Coming. Yeah, Badger's looking for the opportunity. The burp comes out, immediately sprints back to tower, using that immunity effectively just to try and avoid the stun if he got caught in a bad spot there. So nice presence of mind from Spoo. Bastet looking again at the duo lane, looking for the aggression onto Sun Wukong once again. Just letting him know, I'm still around. Don't worry about me. You're not going near the Gold Fury for now. We're not doing it either. It's okay.
Oh, the tower on the right side might go down to the minions here. Gonna have a few more shots. We'll do it. Will it? Our hero archers
they
take
really
it
are
out.
Heroes.
Chalk not going for mid lane, looking for Spoo. There's the damage. Neith also coming out.
Weaver.
Cats might follow. There's a slow. Looking for the pounce. Gonna get it. He just even buying time. Gets away just in time. Whirlpool. Tidal Surge gets a double.
Oh, wow. Wow, big pickup with Captain Twig. Coming in to secure Optics as well. That should be a Gold Fury. I mean, they've just got to be careful of Sun Wukong. But everybody rotating over already. You can see Maniac is making his way across from the solo lane too to make sure the whole team is grouped up here. And Wukong trying to do what he can to get involved in this one. Here comes the hog fight. Nope, the reset comes out for the most part. Reels does some nice damage onto Sun Wukong, forcing him back.
Aphrodite's going to guarantee it.
Yeah, Maniac does turn up in time. Chuck is here, though. He's going to push in mid lane for the time being. He needs to be careful of getting caught out of position, though, if he's going to try and rotate over. Everyone's going to back away from Gold Fury for now, so in the end, Coast did a good job of denying that objective.
Yeah, honestly, as soon as Aphrodite shows up, you see Bassett's health right now. That's the effect of Aphrodite. The heal is just so incredible. Oh, Chalk. Kraken. Knock up. Tidal Surge. Captain Twig does it again. The second that Whirlpool lands, he's just hitting it every single time. He's going for the very high damage build here with Spear of the Magus. Now, of course, Spear of the Magus needs 2 stacks to get full penetration, but once it's fully stacked up early game, it is far superior to the actual shard that gives you percentage-based penetration early on, whereas Spear is half flat, half percentage, which is really, really big. And honestly, once he gets 2 ticks of his Whirlpool or a Trident or something like that, pops the ultimate, gets Tidal Surge, is guaranteed every time.
Yeah, he's doing a great job so far, Captain Twig. And it's all stemmed from that very first kill he got on Optics at the start of this game due to the invasion from SK. They've really put the pressure on that mid lane as much as possible. And Optics is having a hard time trying to find the opportunities for himself. Even when he does gank, he's not being able to confirm these kills, unfortunately, in the most part. And even if he does, it's a trade.
Oh yeah, that's the hardest part about it. I mean, you want to be able to get ahead, but I think they should just stop trading these fights. And honestly, and what people don't realize is towers aren't worth what they used to be. 500 gold is not a big deal. You know, if you give it away, it definitely something. What it does is it kind of opens up the lane a little bit for you, opens up the lane for the enemy as well, but also means you'll be able to guarantee your gold. And so, you know, vehemently defending a tower that's only worth 500 gold when you're going to start losing, you know, control, giving too much gold to Poseidon, it's just sometimes not worth it. And I'd like to see, you know, Coast really start to react to this.
Yeah, I feel overall Sun Wukong's trying to do his best in the situation to help out the mid laner. I think he needed to start doing this earlier, though, to help against Captain Twig and keep Captain Twig afraid of the possible ganks coming, so he wasn't as pushed or able to rotate as easily because he was never sure where everybody was. Like we said, Ult's okay in the lane against Neef. I mean, Neef does have a generally good matchup, as we see the trades in middle lane between Spoo and Captain Twig again, and Spoo coming out on the back end of that one. As the rotation comes out once again from SK, looking to start putting pressure on this mid lane.
Over here, this tower is on its last leg. A single sneeze from any one of these gods will take it down, and I think they really understand that. One thing to note as well is Poseidon is going to end up going for that Fatalis early. That's going to make him very highly immobile. It's going to bring down his burst a little bit, but also allows him to use the Trident to more effect, and we'll see how that works for him going forward. Speaking going forward, Chalk is going forward here, surrounded, looking for the kill, going to land on top. Then here's Aphrodite. The wall is there. He torrents away, not going to disengage completely as they follow up here. Thor's on the backside, wait for the ultimate. It is available if he wants to use it here. A bomb's coming out from Agni as they're trying to zone them out, but it looks like this could be a full disengage.
That was a great play from Coast overall, forcing the disengage and not giving anything up. We just discussed that they need to stop trading, and that's what they did. They played safe, and maybe if they get the opportunity, we can see that Thor's looking for it. He might go up in the air here and look for a re-engage, but on their terms.
Bugsy coming out in the root in the backside. There's the Toxic coming out. Thor from the backside going to land down. No ton coming out here. Aphrodite going very, very low. Needs to heal. The hammer's going to miss. There's the burst for the heal. Back up, coming up cooldown here very shortly as Q1 jumps in the backside. Spring gets activated here by Captain Twig. Look for the Whirlpool. There goes the damage. Optics avoids it with the Aegis. Needs one more shot. Trying to get the kill. Rampage for Captain Twig as Bugsy coming to the backside, jumping from the back. Now it's going to be a 4-for-0 exchange in favor of SK Gaming, and Bugsy is left wondering.
He's left alone as the Fire Giant is going to be started now by SK Gaming. Maniac was the focus target in that fight, and you saw the juke boots drive there from Maniac, trying to survive as long as possible.
I want to see the fight.
Keep himself going. Well,
I just want to see the fight. I mean, honestly, it's just a great fight. You can see it on screen here. Replay coming out. Now look at initiation. There's a little damage on zeros. Look for the world. And honestly, it's like initiation for SK. You see him kind of going forward here. Thor's on the backside. No stun. Aphrodite getting very low. But they focus too much on a character that's so hard to kill. Zero's backing off. You see Bugsy fighting with Neef in the top left corner. There's the bunch of the gods, but watch everything change here. QN got too deep. Damage, Spear Arrow. There's the kill. Aphrodite kills off Chalk in the backside, and there goes the kill. I mean, honestly, every single person on SK had a solo kill for themselves, and they just made the biggest mistake you could ever make. Why are they diving Aphrodite?
Yeah, it's very difficult. We discussed this at the start. Aphrodite's ultimate is very, very effective in trying to disengage or force people into a bad position. That's where Coast found themselves in that. So the Fire Giant is now with SK, 13-3 now in favor of SK.
Huge.
And I don't think Coast is actually playing badly. Honestly, I just think SK's game plan and composition have worked well in their favor.
It really has, and Poseidon getting ahead early really helped them. That was kind of like the catalyst for their team starting out. I mean, Poseidon can scale so quickly, and really anyone who's coming to the mid lane or coming to the fight at all has to deal with the burst of Poseidon, the control of Poseidon. Thor can't teleport away inside that cripple, so he's kind of just caught in. And honestly, the biggest thing for them is that they have so much extra gold, they're spending it wisely. Looking Captain Twig, it's not going to be a Fatalis, it's actually going to be a Witchblade, which gives them physical protection against characters that are going to try to come back to this fight. In fact, they have 4 physical characters there on Coast, and I love the idea, the conceptual idea of being ahead and buying defensive items, because that means that Coast, their way into the game now is to try and kill someone, and if they're buying physical protection, they can't.
Well, Fire Giant is still on SK. The engage coming out from Badger, just trying to zone them out as they continue to put the pressure on these towers in the most part. Quick look at Captain Twig. He's level 19 compared to Spoo, who's only 15. The aggression is onto Sun Wukong. He's in a lot of trouble here. Has to pop the cloud. That's definitely a net win for SK Gaming there. Oh, but there's Thor. The dog was big. Badger's in trouble. Wow. He's going to have to run for the most part. The Whirlpool comes out, though. Bastet does take one. Spoo does manage to secure Reels, who got himself caught out of position in the most part. Good engage from Thor, but it does cost him his life.
1-for-1 trade so far. Sun Wukong ultimate is down. Chalk ultimate is down. They went for the kill, but just could not find it. Looking for Chalk. There's the burst damage. Looking for the follow-up. Tidal Surge going to miss there. Sun Wukong is in the fight. Cracking him. He tore it out of it. Beautiful play by Emilito. Avoids the entire burst damage there, but still not out of trouble yet. Sun Wukong goes down. Emilito dropping low here. Thor is going to be respawning any second now. 7 seconds, 6 seconds, 5 seconds. He'll be out, but no ultimate available. Can't get that same initiation we saw before.
I know they've got the sustain from Maniac, but they've only got 2 people that can be sustained at any given time, and one of them is always going to be Maniac, so back out of this situation, SK. You did a good job overall. They've taken a couple of towers. They should probably rotate now to either to the mid lane or the right-hand side lane and continue getting that gold advantage and those objectives.
That torrent is going to, like, echo through my mind for the next hour as he just avoids the Kraken outside of it. Definitely a great reaction here. But looking at the charts, we're going to see 7,800 gold in favor of SK, 12,000 experience in favor of SK. Now, Coast had, a poor start, but not the worst ever. In fact, they responded with Second Blood. Look for Spoot, and it's ultimate coming through here. Great wall.
Great wall. Great wall. That's really important.
But the speed man, Race Carpus, coming out here. He's not wasted any time. Look how fast he is.
The mobility is ridiculous. He can get going for himself. I'm just checking Aphrodite as well. Oh, she's not. I thought she actually had the improved Heavenly Agility there as well. Once she gets that, Maniac is going to increase Captain Twig's speed even further.
Four things. First, his passive gives him movement speed.
Yep.
Next, Trident gives him movement speed. Next, Witchblade gives him movement speed. And Afro's Link gives him movement speed.
And he's got greater sprint. And he's got greater sprint.
Why not?
Why not? You know, if you're not going quick enough, just run faster. That's all you need to do. Just keep buying speed items all the time. But Captain Twig's done a great job for his team in this game. I'm not trying to take anything away from the rest of SK, though, because they've had a great game so far as a whole team. The communication from them and the rotations have been fantastic to make sure they work on getting these objectives wherever possible.
We're going to see, 15-4. Coast is not completely out of it yet. Honestly, they should be a lot further behind for the situation they're in. It means they've been farming quite effectively, but they have to be careful. And this is kind of the hardest part about being behind like this, and why I like the defensive itemization from SK Gaming to start out here is that, they have to make the decision, do we buy utility items and then not be able to get any picks at all because our damage is low, or do we go full damage and hope to get the better position in the team fight? It's hard to find a balance for that. There's a stun, Emily, so getting very low here. There goes the belly flop finish. Oh, and Toxic to get the kill. Cracking through great minimal damage there. There goes East on top of queuing, trying to go in. Needle's going to get the secure.
That was a lot.
Good dunk from Thor, but how much will it really do after it can actually completely remove it there? Good after that ultimate, going to slow them down, but look at the heals. They're going to go right for the tower. They're going to get it. Coast is left behind. The Fire's going to spawn in a second, and they can't contest it.
Fire Giant spawn again. It's going to go across to SK. I cannot see any way that Coast could contest this one. I think what Coast needs to do in this situation is just put everything in. Go all in. Like, this is the only chance you've got of getting back into this. Go all in and have one crazy team fight. Win or lose. If you win the team fight, you're possibly back in the game. If you lose the team fight, the game's over. But if you continue to do what they're doing at the moment, which is get picked off and forced to lose members so you can't fight anyway, you're just going to slowly lose the game.
That's the biggest thing, right? I think the war of attrition is the safest and most tried and true strategy for winning games. You get a little bit ahead, you fall back, you get some buffs. You get a little bit ahead, you fall back, get some items. A little bit ahead, you buy defensive items. A little bit ahead, you get an objective. And they're not going all in. They're not getting any opportunities. I mean, we saw earlier, they were 6,000 gold ahead. The mid tower was breaths away from dying. Bacchus was right there to tank it, but they still don't want to go for it because that is a possibility. Not a very big one, but a possibility for Coast to jump in and get a turnaround fight, and they're not taking those risks. And if you never take risks, it is so hard for the enemy team to come back.
Exactly, and that's what SK want to do here, is just abuse the small miniature mistakes that Coast make in these, trying to defend their towers, and abuse it to their full advantage. Gold Fury now going to go to SK as well, just pushing that gold leave out further, just so you get an understanding of the difference right now. If you look at Badger, he's level 15 with 9,500 gold. If we look at Optics, the jungler for Coast, he's level 14 with 9,000 gold. So you can see how well SK are and how far ahead they are right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest part about Thor, is that he either hits home hard or he just falls off. And that's why, if you're going to play Thor, you have to be hitting every single ability. The ultimates have been good from Optics, but the follow-up is limited because he has full penetration. Jotuns, he's got, of course, the Titan's Bane, he's got the Warrior Tabi, but he has no defense. So when he lands, he's just meat, and he has to disengage every single time. Watch the initiation here coming out from SK. Q and too far forward. Burst damage pops ult, trying to get off time. He does get it, but the burst finishes him off inside. Up to this is a huge crack, and there goes Emilito taking out immediately. Smooth back to the base. Bugsy is running away here. Surrender Vote is coming out here. The left Phoenix is down. The mid Phoenix is under pressure here. This could be the final push from SK Gaming. Coast is going to try and defend it 5 versus 3. Belly flop. Belch to the Gods going to dash away. Going to get it. Bugsy not going to get away in time though. There goes the initiation of Maniac. Can't get this done. The birds are coming out. The volley's on the ground. They can't get anything. And now they're going to go for their right side. Phoenix again. War of attrition.
Yep, exactly. You keep saying it over and over again, Drive, and you're completely right. What is the point of going over aggressive when you can just secure the game slowly, do the death march, so to speak, and make sure you win this game correctly and not make any mistakes? SK are using this right now as a warm-up for when they play Team Solo Mid in the next round. If it's Team Solo Mid, which it is, I've got confirmation of now on my screen. So whoever wins this will be facing Team Solo Mid. And SK doing a good job. Badger with the belly flop there. Nice wall from Optics coming out. The aggression is on again, but not a lot of damage as he gets bursted. He's in trouble. The Aegis is going to keep him alive for the time being, but not long enough. Maniac's Dubs pick that one up. Chalk is in there trying his best to defend this Phoenix for the most part. He's probably the tankiest member right now, but tankiest does not mean that Captain Twig won't take you down. Phoenix goes down now. SK Gaming in full control. They're just looking to clean up as many people as possible. Bugsy, you're in trouble. Bugsy goes down as well to the back off for Nerves. Zyro's Spoo's stuck. He's going to drop.
No, he wasn't stuck. He gave up. He just done.
I was like, is he stuck? I thought the
nope, he just gave up. He's just like, you know what? I'm done. I'm just going to impale myself on this spike. It's all over. And that is the completion of this game. SK Gaming takes this out 23-4 in 25 minutes. A fantastic performance and really showing themselves that we were waiting. Obviously, Coast made it to the launch event. SK made it to the launch event. They've both performed very well. They were showing up in every single qualifier, obviously being one of the top 8 teams in the world before the launch of Smite. We've been waiting for one of these teams to kind of come out strong and show their stuff. SK is going to be the one doing it. Now, of course, Gortak didn't play this week, so he is going to be subbed out this time around. Maniac is performing very well, considering the fact that Maniac was actually the first person on his team to die in that matchup. Thor able to gank the right side and take him down. Even with the early first blood that they had, I think the story of the game here is going to be Captain Twig on Poseidon. Look at the damage numbers. In 25 minutes, with the limited amount of games we saw, 21,000 damage dealt, far and away the most in the game. And to put this in perspective, Captain Twig did 21,000 damage. Nobody on Coast broke 10K.
Yeah, it just shows the domination that SK had from the early onset. I mean, I feel Coast brought themselves back into it with the early kills early on in trades to make themselves even. But then we got to the point where we kept discussing was the rotations coming out from SK Gaming. And they did a great job with those rotations. And Coast did the best in the most part. But when they did manage to get kills themselves, they traded, which meant that SK stayed in the lead.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it just came down to the right place at the right time, and I think Coast really never grouped up to the point where they wanted to, and honestly, they're going to kind of come out here, and I think, again, it's so hard to run away from Captain Twig in this next engagement because he's the real star of this early game, and you're going to use initiation, Captain Twig, and he jumped on. This is a huge play. Now, watch the title search. Watch the title search. The biggest thing. Thor coming up on top. Right as Thor lands, title search hits Spoo in the face. He can't fall for the stun. The Flames looking for a big burst damage. Crack in the right time. Whirlpool. One more shot. Gets the kill. Now the ultimate comes out. He used the hammer to initiate Optics because nothing left, and he turns a 2 versus 1 into a 2 for 1. Huge play there, and it's so unfortunate. And really, that comes down to positioning and preparedness from Spoo in the mid lane and from Coast overall. Optics hits the ult. Hits the wall, prevents Poseidon from going back to his tower. I mean, the wall was perfect from Optics. It put him right in the way so that he couldn't go back to his tower. He had to go into the jungle. But the Kraken was also perfect from Poseidon. He knew that he was coming forward, popped up the Kraken, beautiful play. Countwig earned it. Let's look at the brackets.
We should see the bracket on your screen right now. We're going into the quarter-final stages right now. As you can see, we're going to be seeing, I'm just checking over it now, Agilitas versus i5 are in there as well in the quarters. Team Solo Mid are going to be facing SK, which we just saw the last round of. I'm just looking to see the other ones as well on your screen. Was it Exposed Secrets versus Smite France? Bloody Tech EU versus Metamorphic EU. We all know you're EU, guys. Why do you keep putting EU in your name? Like, you're playing in the EU tournament. You don't need to put EU. Come on. just ignore that bit and just go, yeah, we're Metamorphic. Yeah, we're Bloody Tech. On the other side, as you can see, Team Solo Mid, SK Gaming, i5 and Agilitas are the teams that are into the quarterfinals on that side as well. So those are two big games on the other side of the bracket, because whoever wins those two are facing off in the semis, Driver.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really tough lineup here. I mean, TSM versus SK is going to be big, and you really have to make sure that you really send them some love. Honestly, the lineup for some teams who run into TSM, you run into C9 on the way up to the finals. It makes it so hard to be able to make that leap, but if you do make it to the finals, it definitely makes a big difference. And so what we're wondering here is, can SK beat TSM? Will TSM survive? TSM, with a huge performance last week, proved that they're definitely one of the top teams in the world.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I was going to say at the start of this broadcast, and I didn't get a chance to, but I feel whoever wins this week will go to LAN. That's my statement I'm going to make now. I think whichever team comes out on top this week and wins the bracket, I expect to go to the LAN this time round. So there's my hypothesis or my expectation from this week's tournament. But I think overall, like Team Solo Mid, SK Gaming, i5 and Agilitas, this is a big week for i5 as well, because they are in third place, but they've got a very, very tough bracket this way around, Driver.
So coming up next is going to be Bloody Tech versus Worth. Definitely a match to be seen. Bloody Tech has had a lot of great performances, but Worth has as well. Let's go ahead and hear what you guys think. What your favorite coming to the next match? Are you in favor of Bloody Tech? Are you in favor of Worth? We'll find out after this match continues here in just about a few minutes. We're going to take a brief break and go right into the next round. It's definitely one you don't want to miss.